Okay. Happens when a child's right to safety collides with a clergy member's claimed right to religious secrecy. Washington state picked the child. The Catholic Church picked silence. And now the Department of Justice says this new bill is unconstitutional. Good morning, fellow inquisitors, and welcome back to Theocracy Watch, where we track our government's ever-growing obsession with religious control and the erosion of public rights. Signed into law May 2nd, Washington state passed that bill that we recently talked about, Senate Bill 5375, which says if you're a member of the clergy and you learn about child abuse, even in confession, you are legally obligated to report it. Sounds pretty simple and straightforward. Protect kids, hold adults accountable. But instead of supporting the law, the Department of Justice under the Trump administration has launched a federal investigation, not into the abuse, the crimes, or the cover-up, but whether it's unfair that the priests who don't want to say anything have to tell law about child abuse.
Yes.
The DOJ has even labeled the law anti-Catholic law, which is a deliberate distortion of what the bill actually does. I am so gobsmacked. The bill protects innocent victims from institutional cover-up and targets the systemic silence that allows these leaders across denominations to assault children with impunity. But they say confession is sacred, a sacrament. But let's be honest, this seal of confession isn't biblical. Give me the scripture that discusses the seal of confession. Oh wait, there is none because it's made up. Jesus didn't invent it, the prophets don't mention it, and it wasn't practiced in the early church. It was created by the Catholic leadership in the 13th century, and now they're using it to shield predators and create a breeding ground of manipulation, guilt, coerced secrecy, and institutional gaslighting. The DOJ is lamenting it targets Catholics, which is an indication of what the bill really does. It targets the systemic silence that has allowed these priests, the elders, the pastors, to grape children and walk free. That includes all religions, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Scientologists alike. The language in the DOJ investigation is painting legal accountability as religious oppression. Calling it persecution is an insult to every victim. Silence isn't faith, it's a defense strategy. Meanwhile, the church isn't just defending its rituals, they're doubling down, issuing threats. The Archbishop of Seattle has warned priests, if you follow this law and report an abuser, you will be excommunicated. Let's be real. If stopping a predator gets you excommunicated, your religion is not under attack. It's the breeding ground and shelter. The call is coming from inside the house. It's coming from inside the White House, if you ask me, and the confession booth. Mind you, this is happening while the same people cry states' rights in one breath and then send the DOJ after Washington state for protecting kids. It's part of a bigger pattern and trend, weaponizing religious freedom to undermine civil protections, elevating theology above law, and sending a message to victims that their suffering is less important than tradition, man-made tradition, not backed by scripture. And apparently to get away with murder, you only need to don a robe, a Bible, and claim religious freedom. If telling the truth makes you an enemy of the church, then the church was never on the side of truth to begin with. Let's stop calling it sacrament and confront what it really is, a shield. So until next time, stay curious. This has been your daily dose of Theocracy Watch.
Wowzers. Wow. Sorry about the sound, by the way.
Law. No, you're fine. Anti-Catholic law. It is not about just Catholics. It's for everybody who has religious hierarchy.
Yeah. But that's so telling. Just in that in and of itself, that they even call it that is so telling that, hey, somebody who wants to protect children is actually anti-Catholic. That's weird. It's very telling. It's oh my goodness. I was shocked when I heard you say that. Durante still looks shocked.
We just talked about it last year.
Yeah.
Last week, excuse me. We just spoke about it last week. I said, I'll let you know as soon as it's signed. And I had it on my radar to let you guys like, hey, congratulations, great news. And now this.
Yep.
Wow.
Yikes.
I want to mention part of the deal though. All right, now here's the deal. If they lose the sanctity of confession, then that is actually part of the bedrock of their power. Yes, they want to protect children, I'm sure, but if people realize that they don't have to go through them to talk to God, that they can be absolved without coming through a priest,
Oh yeah.
that's the end of the whole Catholic Church. So it really does in a way make sense.
It'll eventually, hopefully, I mean, I would hope that it would eventually undermine their religion. And I think that they know that.
Yeah.
They see
Absolutely.
that.
And the fact, though, that they even have to have a law like this, that they're doing this stuff out in the open, is a couple of things. One is, again, Donald Trump pandering to the Christians, in this case, specifically the Catholics, but all the Christians. Donald, whose middle name is actually Donald in the Epstein files folder. Now, here's something that I also found quite disturbing about the situation. They get excommunicated. They're threatening priests for obeying the law.
I don't understand how that blatant. If I was out here encouraging people to break the law, that'd be a problem.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Well, you're not doing it in the name of the Lord.
Yep.
What Lord?
Right.
You have gas? I understand, Lord.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Archdiocese is threatening people.
Oh,
what
yeah,
if,
yeah.
like, okay, so they're saying that it goes against Catholics' religious freedom. Well, what about the priests who maybe would like to, go tell authorities when abuse is happening? Maybe they would like to, but they feel like they're not allowed to.